Sonic Frontiers was a fresh start for the Sonic franchise. A brand new approach to both gameplay and storytelling allowed the game to stand out amongst the pantheon of older games. The boost formula that had been used since Sonic Unleashed in 2008 was let go of in favour of new mechanisms and abilities for Sonic to use, and the typical approach to creating levels was mostly abandoned to explore much wider environments. Now, it's definitely not a perfect game, and it does have its shortcomings, but it has many successes, and today we'll be exploring those and also examining what they mean for the future of the series. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This wonderful script was written by DJ McNaught, who has once again recorded some lines for this video. If this is the sort of content you enjoy, please consider liking the video and subscribing so you don't miss any more of it from ourselves in the future. With all that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start by looking at the gameplay. A defining feature of Frontiers is its open zones, giving Sonic a chance to explore wider environments in ways he hasn't done before. Each of the Starfall Islands allows for combat, speed, and discovery, and presents fleshed out areas that reward the player for engaging with them. The traditional Sonic format can still be found in the cyberspace levels, for better or for worse, but the freshness of Starfall Islands is far more interesting, especially when considering how it could impact the future. It would be remiss of Sonic Team to go back on the formula they've created in favour of more traditional boost formula Sonic games. So how can open zones translate as the series continues to develop? We could easily see more expansive rural landscapes being explored. It's not like the series has a shortage. Perhaps Angel Island could see a fuller 3D reimagining, for example. However, what could be really exciting would be taking this formula and applying it to different types of locations. Imagine a full city to explore, perhaps in the veins of City Escape or Rooftop Run, but with the full scope of Frontiers. Or maybe a fully explorable Death Egg. The format has such great applicability, and it would be exciting to see how it gets utilised in the future.
Tonally, Frontiers feels like the franchise has finally grown up and holds a greater sense of maturity to it than other entries in the series. Gone is the infectious, never-ending energy of the past. Now we can see a greater sense of contemplation. The game isn't afraid to slow down and breathe in between the pacier sections, which makes the whole thing feel more considered. In some ways, it feels like a more modern take on Unleashed, sans Werehog, as it balances the fast and the slow to give a more rounded experience. The music also has a more mature feel to it. The Breath of the Wild-esque pianos in the overworld, the EDM of cyberspace, and the metalcore of the bosses all seem like evolutions of what we've heard before, not just rehashes of tried and tested ideas. When it comes to looking towards the future, the melancholic maturity of Frontiers could definitely be expanded upon and reutilised, allowing for more serious approaches to the series. When it comes to looking towards the future, the melancholic maturity of Frontiers could definitely be expanded upon and reutilised, allowing for more serious approaches to the series. One of the game's biggest strengths is its characterization. Characters have always been a part of the franchise, and Sonic has always been surrounded by friends, but there's rarely time given to explore who these characters are, to see what motivates them. This means that, in games such as 06 and Forces, some of them feel expendable. For the Blue Blair himself, we get to see how genuinely important his friends are to him, and the story dissects what keeps him running. For example, you could take Silver out of Forces and distribute his lines to other characters and the game would barely change. However, Frontiers uses the narrative to flesh out characters who hadn't had too much depth in the game's canon, and expands upon their personalities in ways the series hasn't done before. Knuckles sheds some light on his rivalry with Sonic and his isolated life on Angel Island. Tails opens up about his anxieties in regards to past mistakes and how it feels to be in Sonic's shadow. And Amy is given a strong, heartfelt personality that isn't just being in love with Sonic. One of the biggest triumphs, however, is a father-daughter relationship with Eggman and Sage, giving heart to an egomaniac and examining Sage's expanding understanding of the nuanced world. This character-driven focus complements the game really well and makes us care about Sonic's mission instead of just accepting things at face value. With the upcoming DLC promising the ability to play as other characters, and as the franchise evolves and moves forward, we can be sure that this approach will continue. Maybe in later games we can get the same treatment for other characters, such as Shadow. We've obviously seen his past explored before in a solo game, but it would be interesting to see how Ian Flynn might bring him to life in game. especially when considering that he wrote stories for Archie such as I Am and Shadowfall. Bringing an approach like this to the games could be very intriguing and allow us to see a strong, considered approach to his character.
Overall, we can see how the strengths of Sonic Frontiers could impact the series going forward, and it gives a strong new baseline that can be developed upon in the future. Obviously, this is all just speculation, but if these elements carry on in some capacity, the future could be bright. The possibilities are never ending. But unfortunately, this video is ending. Thank you very much for watching, stay safe out there, and we shall see you all in the next one.
I see it, and now it's all within